Superman Lost issue 6 finds the Flash contacting Batman, telling him that some anomaly is coming fast past Venus and heading to Earth. Bruce asks if Alpha Team is ready, and Barry can't really tell, knowing that it's been weeks since Clark got back, yet he's still not back to normal. So what are they to do? Bruce arrives at the Watchtower, telling Flash they'll do what they've always done, give Clark time and support. The Flash isn't so sure that's going to work this time, as Bruce goes to see Clark, who is standing outside of the Watchtower looking into deep space. Clark tells his friend that he's trying, but he and the others are just memories to him, like an old friend who was moved away decades ago. Bruce understands that the last time Clark left, he lost everything, but he still made it home, and now he wants to know how. Years before, on Kansas, Clark pays his respects to Jimmy's grave as Hope tries to charge her ring with the lantern oath Clark told her, pausing on the phrase evil, making her remember what she did to Jimmy. She remembers how Jimmy found a way to send Clark home and she killed him because of it, for fear that Clark will leave her alone again. She goes to see Clark, who knows that she is leaving, but the woman says that they both are, throwing a fruit at Clark, which hurts him. Hope reveals that over the years they have sent probes into deep space and found nothing that could locate Earth, but they all confirmed that the system's star is dying, and with it, so are Superman's powers. And thanks to them fading, he is becoming quite dependent on his solar suit and the Marquis system, which only augment his powers, not replace them. She knows his powers will be lost the longer the star turns into the red sun, and he will be trapped on the dying planet forever. Clark doesn't want to let the people die, but Hope knows they will die anyway, just like Krypton did thanks to their own arrogance. She knows that thanks to the divide between the people, their problem isn't the dying star, it's their immaturity as a species. She assures Clark that despite all he has done, he can't save them, but Clark refuses to give up on the people. Sometime later, Hope and Superman visit Tyron, the leader of the Northern Tribe, who tell the heroes that Victor only cares for power, and the Zealots are unsophisticated and easy for people like Judge Kane to manipulate. Tyron doesn't want his homeland of the North to give these people an easy political victory, but Superman tells him that the entire planet will die and no one will be spared. Tyron believes that it would take centuries for that to happen, and they will all be long dead when it does, which makes it someone else's problem. Hope does wish the Northland will join together with the other world leaders, but again, Tyron refuses, citing how the people of Newark block everything. Later in Newark, the disguised Clark and Hope attend a giant gathering, finding it eerily quiet thanks to the thousands of people being glued to their social media devices, the Tapestry. Clark explains what the Tapestry is and how they use it to dictate everything in their lives, with Judge Kane overseeing everything on it. The judge calls to Superman, asking why the god hides amongst his people, but Clark tells him that he is no god, he is a friend. The judge thinks that he is a friend of the Republic, but Clark reminds him that he is a friend of the world, and all the world leaders must band together to save it. Kane has heard of all of this before and heard the sky is falling, as Superman has told them for many years that this would happen, but the hero's intellect blinds him and he should be a hero elsewhere. Later at the Republic, Superman confronts Victor, asking what the man got out of his deal with the Contrastiato. Victor feigns ignorance, but Clark has Hope use her ring to show files she culled from his network with the ring, revealing the deal that Victor made with the alien salvagers, who were to give him a stellar drive and a craft capable of leaving sector space. Superman grabs Victor, wanting him to admit that he was going to use the drive to build a fleet of ships to ferry the rich off the dying planet and leave everyone else behind. But Victor reveals that they didn't develop the ship for them, they made it for Superman. He tells the hero that the Ark is a failsafe against his interference, and after so long, Superman succeeded in bringing the world together, as all the world leaders have come together to vote on Superman leaving the planet, and they have all unanimously agreed to do it. Years later, Hope tells Clark to come inside out of the cold since his powers are nearly all gone, and she knows he can feel the biting cold. Clark asks if their powers made him who he is, but Hope knows that they are all slaves to their own fates. He asks the woman why she keeps on returning to the planet, but she thinks that's a stupid question, since she's there for him. As they head back into the house, an aged Victor appears, demanding to know why the hero is still there, since he achieved his goal and united the world's leaders, so now he can leave. Clark explains that the people still need more help, but the man knows that Clark's powers are failing, meaning he can't provide that help without the Marquis system. Clark takes off the solar suit, telling Victor to take it since he will not abandon the people. Victor explains that if he misses his launch window, he will have to wait another 20 years for another interval. Clark doesn't know what that means, so Victor explains that Jemmy found a hole in the temporal rift and charted it before his death, giving Clark a way home. Suddenly, Victor is killed by Hope, who demands Clark not leave her since she refuses to be alone again. She attacks the hero, blasting him through his home as she tells him that she tried to tell him all about how she killed Jemmy, but she was too afraid, and she figured that Clark knew about Jemmy's respirator not failing, and he chose to look the other way and chose her instead. Clark quickly grabs his cape, telling Hope that millions of people are hurting just like she is, but Hope doesn't care since they, just like her, will be dead soon, just like her world was, a world that she failed to save. Hope tells Superman that if he leaves, she will be alone and lost in the galaxy, as Superman tries to reason with her, really wanting to help her see clearly, but the woman tells him that she will kill everything on the planet before allowing him to leave. Hope conjures a pair of dragon constructs with her ring, telling Superman that he tried to save the people, but they are beyond help, so together they should search the universe for a new home, or maybe even perhaps find Earth. Clark knows that she is right, and he should have suspected her in Jimmy's death, but he was so self-absorbed and arrogant by teaching her Hal's Green Lantern oath, as if it meant something to her. He thinks that since she looked like a lantern and carried a ring, she was one, and he just accepted that idea that the ring chooses its own and selects someone of character. He bundles his cape around his fist, putting his fist in the yellow shield section of the cape and using it to smash apart the constructs. He tells Hope that when he first saw the ring, he thought it was an older generation that was still limited by the yellow impurity, hence why his yellow shield-covered hand broke the construct just then. Superman uses the cape to stop Hope's attack, telling her that he has been caught up in his own problems and that saving all of these people will fix him. But she is right, and he has to go since it's just like she said, the world can't be fixed by him or her, so they must leave and come back with help. Superman grabs Hope's hand, taking the ring from her finger and knocking her out. Clark checks the ring, confirming that it is indeed an older one disconnected from the core network. He knows that he can't take the woman with him, but if he succeeds, the Lantern Corps and others will come to help. He places the ring on the ground next to Hope, telling her that he is counting on her to do the right thing. Later on launch day, Superman prepares to launch off of Kansas, knowing the Lantern Corps will help evacuate if he survives. The rocket launches but suddenly explodes, having not been built to the right specifications. The explosion throws Superman from the wreckage, and Marquis tells Superman that he cannot survive the trip into the temporal rift without the ship, but Superman doesn't care, using what little power he has left to speed towards the rift. However, suddenly he is grabbed by an older version of himself, who tells him to go back before he kills them all.